In today's live session, we are going to try to make the dress right here. And the dress, however, inspired by Jackie Kennedy. And I'm going to kind of walk you backward on how I made the dress. And by the way, I will go into Google and also find that dress as well. I made it earlier and somehow I want to show you that dress in on Google, which is wear by Jackie. Let's go in and take a look. So Jackie O Kennedy dress. Let's see. Put in blue. Okay, so this is the one that I made. And let's go back. So if we look at this dress right here, we have dot right here and we have garter right there from the waist down, as well as we have front center front seam as well as side seam, and we can assume that the dress has a back zipper. Okay, so we are going to simply more like sketching the dress rather than, or we can make this one right here, but I think the blue one looks pretty awesome. And again, we have garter right here. Maybe I could make something different. Let's see what other dresses she have beside that one. So wedding, we don't want wedding, we want something. The blue dress is pretty good. How about this outfit? Huh, that's not bad. So a top would pretty much look like a crop top. And let me see. This one also look kind of cute, and you have a button right here. And with her A-line skirt. Also, this one's also cute too. There are so many other dresses that she wear look super cute. That one's not bad. Let me look for more. Okay. So I'm going to have check this one. That one also kind of cute too. Although it's long dress. Alright, we probably stick with that one. So that one right there, her dress, I believe it's from 1960. Which is quite, ooh, look at this one. I kind of like this one better. So this is more like a, that is kind of pencil and the skirt, and then of course it's sleeveless, and the next, and also the waistband. I might like that one a little better. How about make that one instead? So this is the dress we're going to make. If I look at closely here, we have some side dot as well as the apex dot here, and we have this kind of ribbon on the waistband as well on the neck and right here. So instead of using the ribbon, we will use the different color of fabric. How about let's snapshot that one? We want to make that one. Oh, I will leave it run and we will check along the way. By the way guys, this session here we are going to, let me open a new file here and load the avatar. So this method of drafting pattern is more like a sketching, okay? Because the traditional drafting method will be completely, not totally different, but yeah, we have more precise number to go with it. But for this, we're more like draping the dress onto the avatar, okay? So if I, and we are going to use this avatar as a reference, and we will work on the 2D window. Let's go back and have a look at that pattern one more time. So sleeveless, and we have side dot, we have apex dot, and once again we can assume this dress has back zipper, okay? And the length is right above the knees right here. So perfect, right there on the knees. Okay, let's go back and work on that one. All right, I'm gonna use this polygon tool here, click on it to select. Let me check on the next, how deep is it? So it's more like a crew neck, okay? I'm going to go with that. Actually, I'm going to screenshot this because my computer will get hot if I keep this window running. And I'm going to use this photo, and I'm going to close this Chrome here because we don't need that for now. Chrome is pretty rough for MacBook. If you guys familiar with MacBook, it's quite hot if I have Chrome open while working on Chrome. So let me go back and let's open that, and we can look back. Okay, so crew necks with, and of course sleeveless, and the skirt itself is more like a, so instead of pencil, it's not really exactly pencil, it's more not A-line either, it's more like a straight. So we're going to go with that, and then knee length. Okay, all right, let's go to club and crew neck. And again, since we are draping right here, we can actually alter later, but I will begin. Click one right here to start, click one over here. So once again guys, this is more like a draping method rather than drafting pattern. Okay, and instead of create a curve right away, I'm going to simply click one right here. I'm not going to create a curve. I will go in and then create curve later. Same right here, click one right there, and then I'm going to click one simply right here, and then click one, since it is knee length, probably right here, and I'm going to press on shift here to get a straight line and then bring it back up here. All right, so if I look at closely, I can see the silhouette of the avatar right beneath the fabric, and that's what we want. I'm going to use this tool here to create curve, smooth curve tool. Click on this right here and then drag it out. Excuse me, I'm going to press on the delete here and then drag it out, and then right click. Let's turn that to, I'm going to click on this here to link, and then let's type in 5 centimeter. Okay, 5 centimeter. If I look at the silhouette or the preview, it's perfect curve. I'm going to click on OK, and the same with here. I'm going to click one here to deselect, and then click one right there, and then drag it in this time. Excuse me. So I feel like my computer get kind of hot already. So before I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna create curve right here on the armhole. Simply click one. Come on. Okay, simply click one and then drag it in to create this curve right there. And I'm going to switch back to smooth curve tool. Click and then drag it in, and then right click, and this time let's type in 5 again. 5 seems like a little bit too much, so let's get to 7. Okay, so less number is more curve accurate, and more number is kind of average out on both angle to give us a little bit more appropriate curve for the hip. Again guys, this is depend on how far is the point that you want to turn into a curve, which is, this is like a, if you're familiar with a tool, we have a hip curve tool when we draft pattern. This is more like that. We use that to curve or hip curve or waist, so we use the perfect hip curve to curve those areas. So smooth curve tool compared to a real life drafting pattern is hip curve tool. So I'm going to click on OK. I mean, if that makes sense to you. Okay, so now the dress looks pretty good already. However though, we are going to do a couple more things here. So the back side is perfect, and we want to create dot line. So I'm going to come over here and then select this edit pattern tool. Click right there, right click, and then select offset as internal line, and we want that to be 8.5. That is a dot line, guys. And hip line right here, we can kind of take a guess here. We can create from here to here for hip line, excuse me, for waistline. So I can create one right here for the front. Waistline also is back. We'll use the internal polygon slash line tool. And let's simply zoom in. It's close so I can click one right there. And then press on shift, click twice to end. So now we just create this waist line for the dress, and I'm going to switch back to edit pattern tool. Alright, so we can simply create dot here. And by the way, the neck itself is crew neck. We want to turn that into curve as well, so use the curvature tool. So curvature tool, we can simply click or press letter C here, a shortcut key, and I'm going to click and then bring it down right there a little. So my neck could be a little bit too big. Let's use this edit pattern tool, then simply click and then bring it in, and I like this a little bit up higher. And once again, it actually looks pretty good. And I can use the edit pattern to bring it up a little bit. Okay, so actually that looks pretty good. Alright, and the back pattern. Next I'm going to make a copy here. So before I'm gonna do that, let's see anything I need to fix. Nope, it looks pretty good. I'm going to click on that pattern, right click, and then select symmetric pattern with sewing, and I'm going to press on shift and then click one to place the pattern. Then I'm going to remove that link editing. So come over here, remove link editing, because I want to alter this piece of pattern here and turn that into a front pattern. To do that, I will use this edit pattern tool here. Click one on that line right there, right click, and I'm going to select offset as internal line. Okay, and change that to 2, and then I'm going to select this individual, and let's turn that to 1.5, and then here is 1, and I'm going to click on OK. Then I'm going to draw the line here. Let's use the internal polygon. Click one right there, and then click one right here. Actually click twice, and let's cut that. After that, we're going to delete that one right there. We don't need it. So, and I'm going to create the curve a little bit deeper for the front. Okay, so let's use edit curvature tool, click and then drag it a little bit further here. Okay, so we want the front armhole to get a little bit further compared to the back armhole. Okay, alright, so dot. So roughly we want from here to here to this apex area, and to do that I'm going to simply draw a line. Okay, so let's see, simply split the line. I'm going to use the tool right here. So we want to use add point split line here, and I'm going to simply get from here and then click one right there to place the dot, and I'm going to simply use the edit pattern tool and then click right on that point, right click, and then we want to select add dot. Okay, then so dot width is 2, perfect, and dot arm is 1, and then the length, I will adjust the length later, so I'm going to click on OK for now, and then press on return enter on the keyboard. Then I'm going to click on that dot right there and then bring it down. Okay, let's bring it somewhere over here. Alright, okay, let's just reset all pattern for a second. So right there, and I'm going to create another dot right here. So we will get this dot in the correct length in a little bit, but right now let's create dot right here. And to create that dot, we will use this dot tool. It's really useful, guys. We call it diamond dot, and simply zoom in. We want to click right there to place onto that center point right there, and then we want to type in, so the width here, go with, let's just 1 centimeter, and then 1 centimeter. So hang on, let me cancel that and want to zoom back out first, so you get to see the dot behave. So we're going to hover the mouse over that line, literally on that line right there, and then I'm gonna zoom out. Then I'm gonna click one, and here you get to see the preview of the dot. So I'm going to type in 1 here, and then press on the tab key, type in 1. So my dot seems a little off here. I'm going to get back. Let's turn that into baseline first. How about that? So hopefully we got the, and let locks as well. Alright, so now we're gonna get in again and use that dots tool, and this time hopefully we get it to snap onto that. So we want to zoom in as close as possible, guys, and then click 1. Alright, so that's close enough. So type in 1 and then press on the tab key, type in 1, and then the length. The length is up to you. It's depend on the dot, and we can adjust it later. By the way, guys, this is draping. We're not really drafting pattern. Of course, draping and drafting pattern it's the same but a little different, because drafting pattern you want to give an exact number. You kind of measure the body and then give it pretty much exact number. With draping, we kind of play around with the idea, see what come out, and then we'll modify to fit the dress form, in this case the avatar. Okay, so I'm going to type in, okay, the height is 10, and then down here let's go with 14. So down here from the center down here 14, from center up is 10, and then dart arm is 1 and 1. Perfect. I'm going to click on OK here, and it will create a perfect dot first. Okay, so now it not only created dot, but also look, if you look at over here in this 3D, it's also shown that dots for us. So when we create this dot right here, it doesn't show, so only this dot. So this tool here, it doesn't really show the dot. However, we will show that dot, and I can see right here. Let's adjust this pattern a little, see what it looks like. Again, it's actually hard to say right now, but after we sewn the dress together, we can tell where, if they fit or not. So we actually can remove this dot out a little bit. So use this edit pattern tool, guys, then drag it out a little bit. I'm going to press on like hang on, let me zoom out and then see. So we can simply bring it in a little bit further. That looks about right. And this dot right here, I like to bring it over down here just a little bit. Okay, that looks pretty good. And now let's correct the dot length here. So right here is 6.79 and this one 8. So I'm going to bring it down or bring it out, and in this case I'm going to bring it down. So 6.79 and here 8.73. So let's do that number. So 8.73 minus 6.79 and okay 8.73. Let's find that out. 8.73 minus 6.79, so that is 1.94. So we will bring this in, right click 1.94 and then click on OK. Alright, so now let's measure again. So 6.79, 6.79, that is perfect. Alright, so now we are going to create dot for the back. So dot for the back, we want to drop this down on the back for, I'm going to create another internal line here and change that to just 1. And we want to reverse. Nope, we don't want to reverse because we want this lower. So let's go for 3 centimeter and then click on OK. We want to create dot from this, the center dot from this lower, because okay, first of all let me explain that for a body, how a body works, doesn't matter even though we not appear to be hunched down, but literally we're hunching down a little. Let's say it's 3 centimeter center dot from the back will have the perfect fit curve compared to the front. So the front you want it, it's perfect, let's say 36. Then you drop 3 centimeter from the center back dot will be 39. So you will see when the garment fit onto the avatar, okay? So if I right now use this dot tool, diamond dot tool, and then click right here on the center once again. Let's zoom in closely this time and click one right there. 1 and then 1 centimeter and then up high, let's say 10, and down go for 14 and then click on OK. Once again, now the dot, I believe it's sewn, but we're not sure. Alright, let's double check on the garment. Okay, so crew necks, sleeveless with dots and waistband and so on. So we'll create that later. So let's get back to clothes, and right here this is the band, whatever we want to create later. So right now I'm going to simply place the pattern onto, let's take a look at the garment. I'm going to bring them down here so they're not in the way and reset all pattern once again. And now I'm going to place them onto the avatar. Let's come over here and then turn on that show arrangement point. Okay, and zoom in a little bit, press on number 2 here. We want the avatar straight for the front view, okay? And then click one right here on the front pattern, and then click one right here to place the pattern onto, and now right here for the back pattern. That actually looked pretty good, although the pattern kind of dig into the avatar. Let's bring it out a little. Looks pretty good. Alright, so next we are going to sew this. I'm going to use free sewing tool here and then sew this. In fact, this dot actually is sewn. So now only we need to worry about here, create the back and the front pattern, and we're almost finished. How though this dress has a zipper, we're going to create a zipper for the back side of the dress. And again, we also want to create a zipper notch here. Roughly, let's try that out. Right click. So 55, yeah, 55, that's about right. I'm going to click on OK, so the zipper notch is 55. And now let's create a copy. Right click and use the symmetric pattern with sewing. And let's see, back with back, front with front. Alright. And let's close the front and the back for now. So we'll use this segment sewing tool. I'm going to close the front and the back. And let's strengthen the garment, excuse me, the pattern before we simulate. And click on the simulation icon and see how that goes. See, that looks pretty awesome. Wow, I'm impressed. So let's press on number 2 here. And then let's stop the simulation for now. So the next looks pretty good. The sleeve, the armhole fits really well. And the next, let's see, because we want the next, it looks pretty appropriate. So the back next, we want probably a little bit higher. Oops, excuse me, that is my other project. So let's open this. So the back next, a little bit, if it's not higher, it should be level with the front. Again, it's, as a designer, it's your choice. But for this garment, because I want to look like the dress in the picture, so I'm going to press on shift here. We want this to like stay the same. Okay, that looks pretty good. And the front, we're going to lower the front neck a little. Since the dress is symmetric, the pattern is symmetric, linked together, we only have to do it one. I'm going to click and then press on shift. Also let it be, because we want the dress to just pretty much stay the same. Also the neck. Let's see. Simulate one more time. Okay, now it looks pretty. The neck looks appropriate as well as the front. And the dot, actually the dress, it looks pretty awesome. And that is first try, guys. Pretty cool, right? And now let's just unstrengthen. And we also want to apply the fabric. I like wool because with this kind of dress you want the fabric a little bit stiff but still comfortable and not so heavy either. So let's go to fabric and type in wool. We'll melt and drag onto that fabric right there. And we want to desaturate that fabric, so we can just turn off the desaturation. So now we can change the color. I actually can't see. We want to have exact color. Kind of cream, but all here kind of white. So, you know, what if a pink? Give a pink. Actually, pink and white would be, pink and black would be awesome. Pink dress with black trim. How about that? Fantastic. Okay, we want to sew the zipper onto here. However, though, we also want to create trim. So let's look at trim. Okay, before we do all that, let's save the garment. Go to file and then save project. Then let's say pink Jackie. Alright, so that folder right there. So it's important to save the file while we're working, guys, because if this thing crash, we pretty much lost not everything, because Clo have the automatic saving, but at the same time it's not gonna be exact moment like what we save. Okay, so alright, so the dress looks pretty awesome. And now let either sew the zipper first and cut, or how about let create trim first and then sew the zipper. So let's double check on the trim. We have neck here and the trim here, we like probably either 1 or 1.2 centimeter from the top there. It's not all the way to the top. And the trim itself roughly 2 centimeter with the waist, with the, and up here 2 up. Okay, give it a roughly 2 up. Okay, so to get trim here, we want to create an internal line there. First of all, let me lock the pattern outline, and I want to convert this to baseline, and we want to lock them all. By the way guys, do not convert this dot line to baseline, because as soon as you convert them to baseline, all the dot will be undo, and we don't want that. Okay, so let lock. Okay, now the baseline lock, and I'm going to unlock pattern outline here, and let's simply cut until making trim. Let's kind of make this. So here I'm gonna use this edit pattern tool, click right there, press on shift, click right here, right click, and we want to select offset internal line here, and let's create that too. And individual, we wanted selected line or preview, but selected line is perfect. So first is 2 centimeter, and then the second one will be 4 centimeter. Okay, just like that. So 2 and then 4, and then I'm going to click on okay, and the front and the neck here, we want to here one here, and then right click, create internal line, and 2, which is perfect. However, the top one is only 1 centimeter, so 1 centimeter, and then here we want it to be 3 centimeter. So 1 centimeter up and then 3 centimeter down, and I'm going to simply click on okay. Alright, so now the waistband. So the band here, we want it from the waist down. So let's see, right there, it's like pretty much the low waist, the small part of body. So I'm going to either create internal lines again or use this tool here, trace tool, click on that, and then press on return enter on the keyboard to turn that into the internal line. And we'll do the same here, and we'll do with this top. So return enter on the keyboard to turn that into, once again, internal line. Okay, now we're going to simply create 2 centimeters, so we're going to offset that. Okay, so offset this line, right click, and then offset as internal line, and we want only 1, and type in here 2 centimeter. So if we look in the preview here, we have 2 centimeter. However, it looks like some of them are backward. Let's see. Okay, so some of the internal line is backward. We want to both is come down, so we only can do it one by one. How about do right here, right click, and then we want to offset as internal line. Let's move that window out. So if we look at closely here, we want that line and then come down here to 2 centimeter. Okay, but we only need 1, so I'm going to remove that, change that to 2 centimeter, and we look at right here, this is the second, and I'm going to click on OK. So let's change this fabric to monochrome here so we get to see it better. Alright, so now I'm going to right click and then select offset as internal line one more time, and this time we have to select reverse here. Okay, so now right here 2 centimeters is what we want, and then click on OK. Alright, now I'm going to change the fabric back to this. Alright, so right now we have this internal line, so where we can place the trim. Okay, so 2 centimeter trim, and we have to measure them. So right here total is 15 centimeter, and we have to minus the dot. So the dot is 1 centimeter each, so 2 centimeter. So 15.16 minus 2, so will be 13.66. Excuse me. So 13.66, and right here we also have same. So 13.66 times 2. 13.66 66 and times 2 equal, come on, 27.32. So we will get that out of the way. 27 point 32, and then here we want that 2 centimeter, and then click on OK. Alright, so now let's bring it down here. So right there, let's just from here, and now we can make a symmetric pattern copy if you want to, and right here. So we can either cut it and then apply, or we can also do the same, create this pattern right there and right there. So how about create pattern? So I can actually use the trace tool here, click on this line, click on this right here, right here, right here, right click, and then trace as pattern, and then I can simply click one right here to place. So now we create this pattern, and we can just change the color to black, and we'll do the same here, click right there, right here, right here, right here, right click, and then select trace as pattern, and right there. Okay, and now we're gonna make a copy here. So I'm going to command or control plus letter C, and command control plus letter V, and then press on shift, make a copy, same here. Yep, so now we can sew this to here and right here. So right here we can also do the same here, create pattern, or we can also create, we can also cut and then sew it. So let's try that. So click right here, cut. How about cut and sew? So we both cut and sew here, and do the same here. We want to cut and sew. Alright, so now we can actually make a copy of the fabric and name that trim. Then I'm going to change the color here to black. Not super black, let's just a little. And then I'm going to drag and drop onto that trim. Oop, make mistake, command control Z, zoom out. Right there, and I'm going to, let's strengthen the pattern. Simulate, so some of the pattern will fall on the floor, but it's okay. And strengthen, so it actually looks pretty good. Well, actually some of the pattern is in the air, not really on the floor there. Alright. Alright, so right here we're going to sew this on top of the dress, and I'm gonna use segment sewing tool. Just like that. Top sew to top, bottom sew to bottom. Okay. So notice the notches parallel with one another, and next we are going to superimpose on top. Let my key select them all and see if they're okay. Right click and then we want to superimpose over. See their work? Yeah, they are. And I'm going to apply the fabric too. So trim fabric right there, and let simulate one more time. Another fabric falling down. That's cute. Alright, let's strengthen the fabric and then like the front. Nice. So now all we need to do is waistband. Okay, I'm going to make more copy, which is we only need one more copy, and then right click, and then we want to paste here. Press on shift. Alright, so we're going to sew this right here to here. Let's use segment sewing tool. See it work. Yeah, that's perfect. We'll find out in a second. Okay, so here it would work if I only need one segment to connect to. However, I need two segments, so I will use free sewing tool. So we have to remove that sewing. So free sewing tool. Okay, start from the top here and then press on shift. I'm gonna sew here to here and then from here to here. Same here with the bottom. Press on shift. Sew from here to here. Same right here. Let's zoom in a little. We want to sew to here and then sew to here. Alright, so now let's superimpose on top. Superimpose over, sorry. Alright, so now let's apply that trim fabric onto, and we get to see the beautiful unstrengthened, strengthen and simulate. That actually looks pretty amazing. And I'm going to unstrengthen. Okay, so we have issue here in the front. Why is that? Okay, we have to sew that together. So use the segment sewing tool. I'm gonna sew this black piece right here to this black piece. See if it fits. Perfect. Alright, and the particle distance is too small. We're going to increase that. Excuse me, decrease that. So when we work with small fabric, we want to decrease the particle distance to, let's give it 5, and then press return enter on the keyboard. And I'm going to strengthen the pattern once again, and then actually let's see both of the particle distance 5, perfect. And I want to change these to 5 as well, and the same with over here. In fact, let's just change everything to 10 for now, and let's simulate. Okay, so are you lucky enough to have like a big giant brain computer? You can change everything to 5, but this MacBook Pro right now can handle to 10, because it's, when I'm working on for a while, it gets quite hot, and it is kind of tough to change the particle distance to 5 because it could crash. So I'm going to simulate one more time, hopefully. So 10 is it's actually a safe number. However, though, it's better if you can drop it to 5, and we have some issue here because of dot length and so on. So I'm going to simply unstrengthen, and then once again we want to sew right here, and then simulate, and again. So the dot area, we have to fix that problem, which either we can decrease, and how about particle distance here a little bit. Okay, we also need to sew the front. So segment sewing tool is perfect. Okay, I'm going to simulate here. Perfect, actually looks pretty good. Also in the back. Right there, simulates again. So let's actually change that to 5, only that one. Here's the go. And I'm going to superimpose over one more time and simulate. Okay, now much better. However, we have to fix that area as well. So how would we fix that? So the issue here is when the dots sewn together, we have this extra. We can either cut it out. Let's see. We do want to eliminate that. Let's see. We can either cut here, cut this area. How about that? So instead of sew this, let's cut it. Cut and sew, how about that? So cut and sew. Perfect. And then we can actually decide to replace it with the band later if we wanted to. And let again, this is guy, when we decided dress is finished, we will merge the together and turn them to the band or the belt. Sorry, not really a belt, more like a band. So in reality, this will be one piece, and actually the entire belt could be 2 pieces together. Okay, but right now for the dress to look like the dress, we want to turn that into many pieces. Strengthen, simulate, and stop and press on number 2. Let and strengthen, and there you go. So the dress looks pretty amazing. We're gonna need zipper here, the back zipper, and that is pretty easy, guys. So the dress we can create facing for the neck, facing for the armhole, or we can even create lining, a lining for the dress. Okay, so right now the dress actually look pretty awesome, and we can let hide the avatar. So this is the dress right here. We can create lining for the dress. If I look at closely, let's see number 2 here. So right there, that's a dress. We can create either facing or lining, facing for the armhole, for the neck, and then lining. And let's look at a dress one more time. So right here. However though, we also can do a few more things if we wanted to. Alright, let's apply the zipper first. I'm going to Command or Control S here to save. And right click and strengthen. Let's strengthen the strength. Okay. There you go. I'm going to remove this sewing here. The center back sewing so we can sew the zipper. And I'm going to simulate here. Let's start the simulation. Okay, we have more sewing up here. Let's see. There you go. Alright, so now I'm going to sew the zipper. So we'll use the zipper tool here, click one right there to sew to. And then I'm going to zoom in closely. And when it's almost reached right there, double click to end the zipper. We'll continue from here. Let's zoom in. I'm gonna start right here, click one to start, and then I'm gonna sew down here. You kind of want to click to let the zipper tool know that we continue sewing, and double click here to end. Then I'm going to let it synchronize, and then I'm going to simulate. Okay, just like that. And now we're going to change the zipper. Okay, so it is time, guys. Hey, thank you guys so much for watching. We will continue this session for next week. So if you guys are here, be sure to leave a comment below the video if you have any question or suggestion about light tutorial. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I appreciate it, and see you next week. Bye.